Hello, my name is Paige Caldwell. I'm from Baton Rouge, Louisiana, and I am a public school art teacher that teaches middle schoolers. This is my third course at the Masters of Art Ed program at the University of Florida. I chose to write my independent research paper on the connection between the Montessori method and current methods used in art education that revolve around student-centered, choice-based pedagogy and how the two relate. To the right, you can see an example of some work from one of my classes. In this particular class, my students were allowed to use whatever they could find in the classroom to create an image. Some of the key points and connections that I was able to make while doing my research was that in both Montessori and choice-based art education, the senses and learning through experience are essential to how the children learn in both of these. The environment and how the classroom is set up is also integral to the function of both of these pedagogies. They also do not feature long lectures. Instead, teachers hold short demonstrations that are kind of an introduction to the students to new materials. The choice of the students is probably the most important thing. Students being allowed to choose their own method and concept to investigate is integral to how both of these pedagogies function. In both, the space is also student run. So students hold the responsibility for gathering and picking up supplies. In Montessori, she believed that the whole child needed to be taught and that each subject was interconnected. So when you were teaching a child, you're not just teaching them their physical dexterity or their intelligence, you're teaching both, and also their spirituality was part of it for her. In choice-based art classrooms, they focus on allowing the student to develop both their physical dexterity, their culture, and their individuality. So I would say they also focus on teaching the whole child. The teacher also in both functions as a facilitator or a guide. So while they do set some boundaries up in the classroom, they function more as a guide to the student, to guide the student in the direction that they choose. In both, imaginative play comes in. In Montessori, they use things like educational toys to foster learning through games and imaginative play. In choice-based art classrooms, children are allowed to explore concepts together. Assessment in both is largely from observation, and in both, a student's individual culture is allowed to be explored. In my own practice, I try to do as few lectures as possible and limit myself to short demonstrations. I also try to think of myself as a guide or facilitator and allow imaginative play. I also do most of my assessment through observation, and my classroom is definitely a student-run space. These are my top 3 sources for where I got my information for my research paper. Thank you.